start it.
Okay, I'll call this meeting to order, Sunday County Commissioners for Tuesday, April 17th. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Thomas, please.
Please bow your head in prayer. Lord, please lend us your grace today as we gather as a community of like-minded individuals to contemplate the county's business for the betterment of all of our citizens. Please guide us as we make decisions today and always. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Here.
Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Commissioner Cummings?
Here.
Okay, I'll take the motion to approve the digital audio video recording of the previous session held April 10th, 2010.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes. Adjustments to the agenda, folks.
Nothing.
No? Okay, good. Let's get on with it then. Assistant administrator position, we have one opening?
We did.
Uh-huh.
We do not have one opened anymore. We've been doing interviews for the last couple months and did second interviews, and she has accepted Kylie Gardner. Do you want to say a few things? Have any questions?
Sure. I am Kylie Gardner, and I worked previously for Sandusky County for 10 years at Job and Family Services. I guess I'd tell you a little bit about myself. I have 3 children. Colton is 11, Carson is 9, and Cooper is 6. And I spend a lot of my free time at sports activities or volunteering at my church. So I'm glad to be aboard.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome,
Thanks.
welcome. Okay, do we have anything to pass for that, or
Yep.
that'll be part of the...
I
new
can add it
business?
to the new business resolutions.
Okay, very good. RSVP program, Commissioner Thomas.
All right, I'd like to invite Ariel up to say a few things about the program, and then I think we have a proclamation to go over regarding Volunteer Month week.
Good. Well, thank you so much for having me. My name is Ariel Nearhood, and I'm the coordinator for the Retired Senior Volunteer Program. And I'm truly so honored and happy to be here. Thank you to Shane and for the commissioners for having me out, as well as the support staff for all the support for our program. RSVP is one of the largest volunteer networks in the nation for individuals over the age of 55. And our volunteers use the skills and talents learned over the years, or they develop new ones in their while they're serving in a variety of volunteer activities around our community. RSVP volunteers choose how, where, and how often they serve, with commitments ranging from a few hours to 40 hours per week. Locally, we partner with Tiffin's Food Pantry Fish, Seneca County Salvation Army, Mentoring in the Fostoria and Tiffin City Schools, the Franciscan Earth Literacy Center, as well as the St. Francis Convent and CASA, and many other places as well. Our volunteers are also providing companionship and transportation to individuals living in their own home around Seneca County community. Our volunteers receive pre-service orientation, training from the organizations in which they serve at, as well as supplemental insurance while they're serving. This is free for the volunteers to participate. To find out more information, the volunteers may contact me. Again, my name is Ariel, and my phone number is 419-448-1530. You can also find us on Facebook at RSVP Seneca, Huron, and Wyandotte counties, or by emailing me at anearhood@fcsohio.org. Again, thank you so much for having me out today.
Okay, we have a little proclamation. You care if I read that?
Yes, go right ahead.
So, whereas service to others is a hallmark of the American character and central to how we meet our challenges, and whereas the nation's counties are increasingly turning to national service and volunteerism as a cost-effective strategy to meet their needs, and whereas Senior Corps and the Retired Senior Volunteer Program participants address the most pressing challenges facing our communities, from educating students for the jobs of the 21st century to fighting the opiate epidemic. 2, responding to natural disasters and supporting veterans and military families. Whereas national service expands economic opportunity by creating more sustainable, resilient communities and providing education, career skills, leadership abilities for those who serve. Whereas Senior Corps and retired senior volunteer program participants serve in more than 50,000 locations across the country, bolstering the civic, neighborhood, and faith-based organizations that are so vital to our economic and social well-being. And whereas national service participants increase the impact of the organizations they serve, both through their direct service and by managing millions of additional volunteers. And whereas national service represents a unique public-private partnership that invests in community solutions and leverages non-federal resources to strengthen community impact and increase the return on taxpayer dollars. And whereas national service participants demonstrate commitment, dedication, and patriotism by making an intensive commitment to service, a commitment that remains with them for their future endeavors. And whereas the Corporation for National and Community Service shares a priority with local leaders nationwide to engage citizens, improve lives, and strengthen communities, and is joining with the National League of Cities and National Association of Counties, cities, services, and local leaders across the country for National Service Week. Therefore, this is the punchline, be it resolved that we, the County Commissioners of Seneca County, do hereby proclaim April 29th to May 5th, 2018 as Senior Corps Week and encourage residents to recognize the positive impact of national service in our community, to thank those who serve, and to find ways to give back to their communities. We proclaim this today, and so we're early, which is good. So we'll get that on the calendar. And if we could get a quick picture.
Sure.
Yeah, if you want to come back here. And we also have Sarah with us. If you'd come up, Sarah, for the picture.
Oh, I was gonna take a picture, but.
We'll send it to you.
You guys come in the middle, please.
Good, how are you? Joe's mad that we're hanging out.
So here's the president.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming in. It's a great program. We're really excited that you're working it so diligently in the community.
Okay, Justice Center update. I'll start with Commissioner Stacy.
Just as the invitations will be going out, but it is open to everyone. But we wanted to make sure we invited our state elected folks and the House Supreme Court justices, etc. So we'll have some invites going out. But May 17th is the ribbon cutting and time capsule dedication, and it will be at 3 o'clock, and it will be at the Justice Center there. Outside, in case of inclement weather, we will move indoors to a courtroom, which then will obviously have a little more limited seating. Then we will have limited. We're unlimited in our standing room outside. But anyway, so that's that. We're working on those things. The committees continue. A lot of people are asking some questions. Are you going to landscape? Are you going to do this, that, so forth? We're working on landscaping, including the grass, including some signage to be out closer to the roadway, so people driving down Market clearly know where they're at, what's all in the Justice Center. And that means both buildings. And related to Justice Center, the renovation work that's taking place in the former courthouse, the annex building, is underway. Started last week actually. The ninth, yeah. They got started with that work, so that progresses. If there's any other committees on anything.
Well, I just think it's important that as it is now completed and you drive by, if there is anything, we can't do everything from a aesthetic standpoint, but if there's anything that you see that strikes your eye that could be different or adjusted, or, gee, a tree would really look nice here, or anything of that nature, let us know. Because we are, the master gardeners are assisting with the landscaping, which is a Tiffin group of folks, and we're trying to coordinate, Shane's heading this up, but we're trying to coordinate all the sidewalks with the, with the landscaping so that everything looks good. I personally am not fond of the fence, for example, around the generator, and I think we're gonna try to do something with that, because it kind of sticks out, but you don't know these things until you actually go past it and take a good long look.
And we have we've had pictures and things we've been collecting, and of course with doing this with the time capsule, but we have a PowerPoint presentation together that I know I'm using a couple of times this week. And if anybody's interested in that, for the sake of, as I gather that up, just kind of re-highlighting the steps that we've gone through, but it's been a multi-year project, just from the fact of being kind of a landmark project with the cooperative agreement formed and signed by both the city of Tiffin and the commissioners, cooperative with the city, the county, and the judges to financially make things happen and so forth. So if anybody's interested in that for a civic group organization or something, that's possible, and any of us, the city and or the judges, could probably give that presentation to your group, so.
Yes, more time.
Tom's got his hands full with branding.
Yeah.
Do we have a final date for the punch list? Where are we at with that?
Nope, I don't know, they're still working on Stillings punch list. And I think that
Okay, that's
the
the second
contractors
level.
are, yeah.
So
Yeah.
contractor's done with his punch list, the architects.
The architects, the contractor's working on the architect's punch list. And they're
Okay.
actually getting some things as the departments are moved in, obviously
Right.
noticing some things, so they're adding to the punch list.
Okay.
But we haven't gone through our final, where we need to go over it and.
Okay, so we don't have a final timeline on that?
No.
then? Okay.
And kind of related to that, we'll have, hopefully by next week, I think we'll have some type of a contingency number, that we know what we have left from the contingencies, so that we can use that, or if we decide to use that towards some of the landscaping extras, or wherever we might decide to go with that.
Which I do have the contract ready for the sidewalks. Derek approved it. All I need to do is sign it. I just want to make sure we were still okay with that. $36,871, and this fixes the front sidewalk, it fixes the concrete around Gibson, and then also gets that design that we've presented here a
Kind of
couple
loop
times.
design, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
okay, good.
with some of the contingency money, I don't need to set any additional aside,
Right.
so as long as it's okay, I move forward. It's under my threshold, I can sign this and get this going,
Sure.
if that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and we may want to tease that number out separately for the contingency number that Mike's talking about.
Yep.
But,
Yeah, I'll make sure it's.
but yeah, so that was hydraulically jacking the front sidewalk so the water sheds away, redoing the, around Gibson, which is in poor condition.
Are they doing concrete there, or are they doing stamped concrete or regular concrete?
It's
Yeah.
regular concrete,
Okay.
yeah. It is, we talked about doing mulch, but actually, some of the field trips go up there and they read the back plaques of the,
Sure.
so we wanted to keep
Little
it as a
buffer
summer,
on it,
yeah,
yeah.
it's for the kids, so.
Yeah.
Because we talked about mulching it instead, but.
Okay, I think, we don't have the bid opening until 10:15, right? So we have a few minutes, we probably can get through the new business.
One thing, still under old business,
Yes.
I think I forgot to put it on the agenda. We did get the final IRU back from Bascom, and it's gone through the prosecutor's office. I sent it to each of you, and wondered if you had a chance. I don't need another resolution, but I do need signatures, but I do know if you guys wanted to talk about it. We got the language in there that shows how many lines we are getting, the renewal that Shane had asked for in there, and there was another thing,
The number of fibers.
fibers, so, just,
Yeah, I reviewed it, I was satisfied, just for posterity, 40-some thousand on the renewal, 20 years, so, and then an inflation factor on that, so.
Yeah, I thought,
They were very fair.
okay.
Yeah.
When we got that, I did read it, but it's been a week ago?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe there was something new. but-
No,
No,
that's
Okay.
the one I
that's the one
sent.
she sent the
Yep.
others.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Okay, I just need signatures on the contract, and that's all I have for it. So new business.
We are 10:15
Oh,
now.
we can do that,
Do you
yeah.
want, we better do the bid opening.
Okay, sign-in sheet. Sign your name and pass it around.
questions in there.
Yes. Okay, and this is for contract, the superstructure replacement pre-stress box beams for EDN County Road 16-3.63, and then SCI Township Road 169, 0.71.
We can get the logo stamped and pre-stressed. The logo stamped and
On the side of it.
pre-stressed. You know, like the city's gonna do manhole covers.
Yeah.
We can do culverts that's
As long as we don't
pre-stressed.
pay for it.
Yeah.
Let's see, bid sheet here. Okay, engineer's estimate for this project is $154,375, 154,375.00. First bid is Pre-Stress Services Industries of Ohio, out of Columbus, Ohio. And total bid is $152,200, 152,200.00. And bid sheets. Second bid is, let me see, they're pretty cursive writing here. Is it RG? Yeah. Can you read that?
Somebody here from the company? Zachrick, Z-A-C-H-R-I-C-H.
Okay. Out of Defiance, Ohio. Sometimes I butcher names.
I probably just did.
Total bid amount, $160,781.98. 160,781.98. And those are the only two I have.
Okay. Thank you very much for the bids. So they'll be referred to the engineer
Yep.
for his review. Okay.
Yep.
So let's do new business.
Okay. I have a supplement to the permit appropriations to the Children's Service Donation Fund, putting $3,000 into other expense. I have an appropriation adjustment for the ditch maintenance fund, moving $6,000 from repairs to supplies. I have a resolution authorizing the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to enter into the 2018 participation agreement with the County Risk Sharing Authority, ORSA. I have a resolution authorizing the FY18 Airport Improvement Program grant with the FAA for obstruction removal and land acquisition parcels E2, E3, F, G, and U, authorizing Mike J. Kirschner, President of the Board, to sign the application and all other related documentation on behalf of the Board. I have a resolution authorizing the amendment number 1 for the General Consulting Services Agreement with Stantec for the period of October 1st, 2017 to September 30th, 2018. And then I have a resolution appointing Kylie Garner as full-time assistant administrator effective April 23rd, 2018. Those are all I have.
What's the deadline on the airport improvement? We don't have a negotiated agreement on the land price.
I think that's the one that's July, isn't it?
Is that July?
There was one for April and one for
I think this is the one in July.
Just curious, because we don't know exactly what we're applying for at this point, do we?
We know the dollar amount.
It's for, it's for the obstruction, well, removal and land acquisition.
Yeah. the maximum dollar amount that we had in there, I think.
Yeah, I think we talked about it at the last meeting. I'm not finding it quickly.
But the application has to be in by July of 18. The Sandtech will take care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought there was still a conversation on the price and we,
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
so I didn't know if we could apply without knowing that answer.
Yeah, because they set maximums on the price on the grant.
Yeah.
And we'd have to decide whether we want to go on with it by going into our pocket if it was
Pay the
different.
difference,
Yeah.
We got the obstruction removal trees. Ecological study, there's a lot of information in here. I don't see a date. And I'm pretty sure it was July.
Okay, why don't you,
I'll look and
yeah,
I'll.
put it on the agenda for next Tuesday.
Okay.
Make certain that we come up with that date.
Yep, I will.
Okay?
Yeah, my only point is we've got time and I don't think we're there yet to pass
Right.
resolution.
In fact, I'm not even sure where we're.
I haven't heard
Yeah,
anything
I
since
don't
our
know.
last
That's right.
conversation, so I just,
But
Yes,
we
isn't
can
this-
pass it, but I think it's gonna be back in here.
Right, and I know they had gotten some names of some appraisers,
Yeah.
some additional appraisers. That's the last update I had
Yeah.
heard from the director.
Okay. Anything
So if you don't
else?
need that this meeting, you know, hold that out till next meeting, is that
Sure.
okay, Stacy, are you okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah, there's no reason to. So I will accept the motion to approve all the appropriation adjustments and supplemental appropriations and authorizations, excluding the airport contract at this point.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Cummings,
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes. Okay, what we've all been waiting for with excitement is about to happen.
That happened for real.
There has been a group of citizens, mostly those folks, all those folks from the county, that have been working on branding for the city and for the county for a couple of years now. The culmination of that is a presentation that we will soon see from both David, Zach, and Katie. How we got to the point, how they got to the point of the stylist emblem that we're going to use for our logo is really, it's culminated through the fact that there's been so much cooperation by everyone who's been contacted and through so many meetings and through so many volunteer hours. And I think that, that pretty much tells us a story of Tiffin, Ohio and Seneca County, that there had been so much inner workings with the city and the county and the townships and the citizens on this, that the reason that we came up with what we did was the fact that there has been such good collaboration on virtually all major projects within the boundaries of the county. So I'm very happy with the results of what we're going to see here pretty soon. And I hope all of you will be as happy. The idea is, one of the council members brought this up, and as I thought about it on my way home, we can all have business cards with the same logo on it or with the same branding on it, so that if you're a potential business coming to Seneca County, you realize after the meeting by looking at these business cards, for example, that everybody's on the same page here. Everybody has, even though we have different jobs and we have different responsibilities as far as bringing businesses or expanding businesses or welcoming new people or welcoming new students, the net effect is the fact that we all have the same desire, and that is to welcome you to our community and to express to you what a great place we think it is to live and work. So, having said that, David, if you would begin the presentation, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, Nick, would you play the video at this time?
When you think of brands or company logos, you instantly associate those with the business or the community, and you're looking to do that exact same thing here in Tiffin and Seneca County.
The city and the county and all the different political subdivisions have been very collaborative. One of the prime examples of that is the new Justice Center that we will be opening here in early May. And the idea of branding allows us to show the spirit of collaboration and cooperation we have now and into the future, and sets us apart.
What makes this brand completely unique is the fact that the Chamber of Commerce, the Visitor Services, the Economic Development, the Downtown Development, the City of Tiffin, the Seneca County, and now the Regional Planning Commission all have a connected look and feel and experience. And I am not aware of any community of our size in the United States that has done that, and most large cities haven't accomplished that.
What we were looking for is a singular brand that worked for all of us. And I think we have achieved that after 2 years of hard work and about 500 inputs from people, organizations across Tiffin and Seneca County.
We're very excited to be able to present downtown as a new destination with our new brand, something that we haven't had previously. We will be able to work together on a more intimate level to where people will be able to understand that if they come to one of us, they'll be able to work with all of us to move forward.
This is a combined effort that shows how collaborative our county, our city, and our community continue to be. We strive for excellence, and this is one more mark of excellence.
The major theme of this is how we are all connected, how connectivity drives Tiffin, drives the county, drives the chamber, drives SIDEC.
So the logo itself is supposed to convey the impression of a progressive community on the rise.
It represents not only landmarks, but the ruralness and the urbanness of our community.
When I look at the new brand, I almost instantly think of an up-and-coming community, one that is advancing and growing.
And we think that will translate into more visitors. We think that'll translate into a better experience living here. And we think that'll translate into more economic development and business growth for the businesses that are already here, the employees they're trying to attract, and new businesses we're trying to bring in, and welcome to the Tiffin Seneca County family. So I'm very proud of the work that everybody has done, and I'm very appreciative of the funding that everybody's put towards this and the work and the many hours that have gone into this.
We want people, wherever they may be, we want them to look at this logo and instantly associate it with Tiffin, Ohio, with Seneca County, with a community that is developing itself, progressively moving forward, and not living in the past. And that's exactly what we're going to get out of this logo.
So we're very excited to be unified, comprehensive, and I think everybody's going to be excited about what we have to show you.
Move up here, this is where people usually that way. So this is phase 2 of the launch. We did phase 1 of the launch at Tiffin City Council last night. It's great for Katie and me to be here to do this second part at the Seneca County Commission. Want to do the same thing I did last night, which is express gratefulness, and really every commissioner has been engaged with this. This was a vision in 2014 that I asked Holly and Tiffin Mayor Aaron Motts and John Detweiler, let's get together and let's talk about this crazy idea of doing something no one else can really do, and that's really get together and see if we can figure out a way to have our own individual identity, but also have a brand, have a look, have a story that kind of connects us all, so that when we're working with visitors or working with businesses or working with residents, that it can work for all of us. And I think that was a very exciting concept, and we started working on it. We kind of hit a little bit of a dead end at the time, and that didn't work. And then the next year we were working through SIDC to try to accomplish it. And then in 2016 we put together a committee of folks representing all the entities, and Commissioner Kirchner was part of a group with me, Aaron, and John, and Commissioner Thomas was part of that group. Charlene Watkins was part of the stakeholder group. I call it the brain trust working on this, and Katie Lang was managing the project. And for me, as an economic development professional, marketing is really, really important and brand is really important because what it is, it's a promise, it's a story. What are you about? It affects, when you think about why you buy things or what you're driving down the road or you're on a trip, what hotel am I going to stay at? A lot of times it's either you have experience or what brand do you trust, right? You got to make a risk, and what that feeling conveys is really important. I told a story last night. When I was growing up, I used to go up every year to Cadillac, Michigan. I used to make maple syrup, and I grew up in the suburbs, so we were in a camp in kind of a real rural area, and had no idea maple sap was not this thick stuff. It was like water. So I learned that it took a long time. It took a lot of sap, and then we boiled it down all night. A bunch of it, as a kid, that was a lot of fun, being able to stay up all night. And then we got to enjoy it on pancakes that we'd cooked on the fire, and then we used the homemade maple syrup. And branding's like that. It's really you distill a lot of ideas, and I'm going to go through quickly some of the slides about how we got to this point. Our communications manager, Katie Lang, who's going to be kind of the ombudsman of helping people implement this, is going to talk about the actual kind of graphic representation, where we kind of go from here and what it might look like. I think something that I want to highlight even right now is that this is something that we're intending to, that's not, we're not like it's not a regulatory kind of a thing. This isn't forced on anybody, but we have this unified front. Any of the villages, any of the townships, any of the county elected officials can be happy to be a part of it. So it's free of charge. It's something that if it helps, we're happy to offer it. So we're going to go out to the townships and the villages and talk to them about what it is and if it would be of interest to them. Doesn't have to work for everybody, but we want to make it available. So with that, I'm going to go through quickly kind of how we got here. If you do the next thing. Ooh, I got a clicker. Last night I didn't have a clicker. I had to go like this. Okay, so which button do I try it again? All right, okay. So again, the main point is, and I'm only going to pause at certain slides, what we're trying to do is create a distinctive and differentiated position. What makes you unique? What makes you different than every other community? Reflected through a singular brand expression, adapted and applied to a family of organizations, and that's really the secret sauce. That's what no one else can do that represent the Tiffin-Seneca community. And I think what's important is that we have a physical manifestation of that in the Seneca County Justice Center. That's the first one in Ohio where the city and the county were actually able to work together, the county seat and the county, to do something no one else could do, because it's not easy. But at the end of the day, there's something here that allows us to do that. We're also working on creating a business brand, common community goals, community pride, economic development, attracting new residents to the county, events, visitation, local retention of businesses and people. The first big thing, we put it on an RFP towards the end of 2016. We all came to unanimous consensus on the company that we hired in March of 2017. And so it's really literally been a full year of work. We had nearly 500 participant inputs at a variety of different venues. So we were everywhere from the farmers market. We went out to Fostoria. We were doing multiple areas out in the county. And so we were all over the place just trying to get people's input on what do you like about this community? What makes it unique? What makes it different? And so what we did is that we, every time someone used a certain word, it's represented in this word cloud as more popular. So there's a strong sense of we're in a friendly, welcoming community where people call home. It's growing, it's progressive, it's historic. People have a lot of pride. We have education. And one thing we noticed is that it wasn't anything tangible. In certain communities there may be one big thing. I grew up in Toledo, so it was like Jeep. But no, this is something. It's a feeling that you have. It's an experience you have living in Seneca County. And why would a business choose Tiffin? Growth, safety, work ethic of the folks here. So it's a great location. So again, intangibles, there's a sense of the community on the rise. There's a lot of economic growth. There's a lot of great things going on, whether it's agribusiness or education or manufacturing. There's a lot of great stuff happening. So these were some boards that were put together kind of for Tiffin. It was done all over for the county as well. The next phase is we took kind of 3 groups and did deep dive. So we selected people that were old guard. So people from around Seneca County that have been here for generations and been here all their lives. We had a group of folks we called new guard, which are people that kind of moved into Tiffin and Seneca County and what their impressions were. And then we had some business leaders. And we did deep dives. It took several hours and really allowed some great input. We came up with some what we call emergent themes. Then one of the coolest parts of the process is we took these themes and we pressure tested them with people that had never been here. And it was kind of like, which of these would make you think about visiting, moving, which resonated with you on what makes this an attractive place to be. And what we ended up with was a story, a brand narrative that is about a life connected. And we had a couple of different platforms, and I'm just going to read the first one. So in Tiffin and Seneca County, we're driven by what truly matters in life, being surrounded by those you love most in a place that feels like home. We grow and learn together here. Everyone's treated like family. We are loyal and dedicated to our home and to the folks that are here. And if you look at the bottom, it's togetherness, it's sense of community, it's feeling of family, it's shared pride in who we are and what we stand for. It's balance, simplicity, enjoying what matters most, dynamic perspectives. We're improving together, we're growing, and we have a collaborative teamwork. So that works also on a business level. So this Life Connected, everybody that was involved said, yeah, that's what's great. And I told the story last night. I had this discussion, St. Francis Home, great organization in our county. They have like 500 acres, and they did this expansion of the St. Francis Home. And one of the sisters who's on the board, we were talking about Toledo, where I'm from, versus Seneca County. I said, we got all these great restaurants. We got them in Tiffin. We got Smokies. We got Fatheads, and we got all these great restaurants. She goes, you know what the difference between Toledo and Tiffin and Seneca County is? And I go, what? She goes, you may have 20, 30 restaurants. We have 200, 300. And I said, you know what the difference is? I go, let me ask you a question. How many of those owners do you know when you go in those restaurants? When you go, how many people do you see that you recognize, that you talk to when you go in there? I said, every time I go into a restaurant here, every time I go in a store, I know who owns it, I know the people that are there, and I'm connected to it. And that's that sense you don't get in a big city. And so I think that's also very competitive as business, no matter what industry you're in. And so that really resonated. And then from there, Katie's going to take the rest of the way in how we visually represent what we think our unique value proposition is being uniquely connected.
So the visual representation of the brand is just important as the narrative that David just explained to you. This is often going to be the first touch point that anyone has with our community. So from the visits that Upward made to our community, the graphic designers began sketching out representative images from Tiffin and Seneca County, and here are some of the examples of the things that they were tossing around. But like David said, a lot of what makes us unique is intangible. So it's hard to find a visual representation that represents Tiffin, Seneca County, and the feeling that you get from the community. But they were able to come up with something we could all agree on. In this brand mark, you can see many aspects of Tiffin and Seneca County. Rising in the background is the cupola of the new Seneca County Justice Center. This serves not only as an iconic image of the downtown, of the county, of the city, but also of the collaboration in the community and our willingness to work together. The buildings on either side can be residential, industrial, commercial, or agricultural. The sprout or tree or whatever you want to call that over on the right side there is sort of representative of the growth of the community and also of our agricultural heritage and the trees that are throughout the community as well. The water underneath runs throughout Seneca County, in the Sandusky River, and in the many creeks and streams throughout the county. This also kind of represents the ever-flowing nature of life and the community. And finally, the bridge that goes across the middle there represents the connection within the community, whether that be the physical connection of a bridge connecting one side of the bank to the other, or if it's the connection that we share with our city, our county, our officials, our families, our friends. So this one unifying mark will apply to each unique brand in the county, differentiated by color. So starting on the left, we have Tiffin, which is teal and gives a feeling of the refreshing calm, trustworthiness, and reliability of the city. And then we have Seneca Green, which shows growth, rebirth, and prosperity. SIDEC will have orange, which is enthusiasm, energy, stimulation, and determination. And the chamber has a sort of navy blue, which shows loyalty, strength, and confidence. In the brand hierarchy, we have the overall brand, which is the mark, the identity, the positioning, messaging. And then under that, we have the places and organizations that it represents. And that can also be expanded to describe any other organization within the community. So while we do have the 4 main stakeholders in the brand, which are Seneca County, the City of Tiffin, the Chamber of Commerce, and SIDEC, we also have things like the Seneca Regional Planning Commission and Downtown Tiffin and Destination Seneca County. So it can really be applied to any organization that would like to use it. And then further along, it can also be applied to different affiliates like Tiffin University or Heidelberg, and at large use by businesses and events. So here is a sneak peek of, So the family of brands can be applied in a consistent fashion to any part of the community. So, for example, we have the overarching brands over here of Tiffin and Seneca County, and in the middle we also have what it would look like if you were to brand any of the villages and townships throughout the county. And then along the right we have more of the organizations, which would be the Chamber, Destination Seneca County, SIDEC, Downtown, and the Regional Planning Commission. So here is what it would look like in action. Each brand has its own color palette and font, which will be applied based on a brand guidebook that I'm going to pass out to you all in a moment. And the first physical representation we have as an example is business cards. And this is what Mike was talking about earlier. When we can sit in a meeting and there's a representative from each organization talking to a new business or a business that would like to expand, or just anyone who would have dealings with the city or county, it presents a united front that we can all share the same unified business cards. So then there are other ways that we can apply the brand, like to clothing, to vehicles, signage, uniforms. More examples of that. We can also do different kinds of literature that are consistent for the city and the county. And we can apply this to like the downtown banners, or you can see it on the frosted glass of a window. It really can go just about anywhere in the community. Letterhead, folders, that kind of stuff. We can even get as big as putting this on a water tower, for example. And then finally, our goal with this is to get to where we have a portal that someone looking for information about the community can come to, and it will lead them directly to any of the stakeholders in this brand. So we're starting out connected, and you can find each piece that you need within this unified brand. And that's the end of that. Does anybody have any questions?
Well done. This has been quite the challenge, as stated, over the years to envision getting this done with all the entities and all the input, and the company certainly did their work, as well as with the leadership of SIDEX. Thank you.
Thank you.
Katie, we appreciate your presentation. You did a great job. Second time around was a little bit easier.
I don't know.
You did great. You did great. I think it'll be a real positive for the community. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. Check it out.
I thought since the council members got cars, we'd get T-shirts or something, right? Only 3 of us.
I don't know.
Okay.
Do we need a resolution to accept the brand?
I don't think, I think it would be I don't know that we need it, but I think it'd be a great show of support, so I would accept that motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the brand
And
and
I
work
will-
with the branding committee.
And I will second that.
Okay, and I guess we would need roll call for that.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
And we should work on implementation. Do we want to, crossed signage and stuff? How do you want to proceed with that?
Well, I think that through conversations with Katie and David, the best places to begin, I think it's gonna be, my sense would be it's a kind of a situation when it's time to reorder letterhead. Do we include it, and is that the best idea? When it's time to change the signs on the courthouse, do we put the brand on that? And as, I think that attrition will take care of some of the stuff that isn't branded, and hopefully we'll roll into this thing. I do think that we probably ought to come up with some stuff for the office to have it. And I'm sure that Katie will help us find those items
Certainly.
somewhere along the way. We should
Our
maybe have
website.
it on our shirts.
Can you get that electronic?
Shirts and mugs and.
Yeah, you can, Katie, that,
Tattooed in the middle of your
the
forehead.
stylus, the brand will be available electronically to, okay, camera ready. I
Yes,
assume.
it'll be available, and anyone, if there are any departments within the county or villages or townships, anyone that would want to talk to us about implementing the brand, I would be happy to come
You've
out.
already sent it to everybody that does graphics, right? They all have it, there's a camera ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you probably had, yeah.
Yeah, so we're willing to come out and talk to anybody about how they can use the brand for themselves and, kind of the proper usage of it. And all my contact information is on the materials that I gave you, and feel free to share those with anyone that you would like.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I just, again, this is the second time around, but, the connection with the bridge, I think is really symbolic in that, it can mean from one end of the county to the other. It can mean the downtown, from beginning of downtown to the end. It can mean just City of Tiffin. And it can mean theoretically all of us working together, connected through the brand. So you did a great job. We appreciate it. It's worth it because it's been a haul down here trying to get this presented. Okay. Do you guys want to do executive session before we do open forum? Because I have a sense open forum might be long. Or do we want to go ahead with open forum and then go to executive session after that?
I think we're going to executive session, that's not gonna take long, right?
Should take 5 minutes at the most. Okay. You want to move that we do that?
Yeah, move that we go to executive session.
Okay.
For what?
Discussion of pending litigation.
Okay.
I will second.
Okay, I think we need a roll call for that.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes. We should be back in 10 minutes at the most.